So my name's Krystal. I am a mom to 3-year-old Finn, almost 4, and he is diagnosed with ADHD, sensory processing disorder, disruptive behavior disorder, and he's being retested for autism, high functioning autism. He does his stimming, he runs back and forth. He repeats himself a lot. Come here to mommy. And so sometimes when I take him to the store, I've started using a leash because I have to keep him with me so that he doesn't run away from me, because that makes my heart drop to the floor when he just takes off on me. And you know, anybody could snatch him up or he could hurt himself, and it's just not safe. So I've started using a leash. Other things, I mean, I do therapy every week with the parents as teachers. They teach me how to talk to him. You know, saying certain things like, I'm proud of you, and stuff like that. And when he does throw his temper tantrums, I mean, it could be anything from just saying it's time to go to bed to, you know, whatever could trigger him. He will throw himself on the floor, he will cry, he will scream at literally the top of his lungs. He does not care where we are or who can hear. I mean, some days are okay, and some days it could be literally like every 30 minutes we'll set him off with something. And no matter how hard I try to redirect or even get him out of that space, it doesn't matter. It can, you know, one morning he was throwing a fit about me using the bathroom, and I had to make him get dressed, carry him down the stairs of the apartment, and I was on my way to work, and he still was crying and screaming, crying in the car for 30 minutes after. You know, when he has his meltdowns, it takes me a minute to recover my own self, because it's traumatic on me too. Like, he likes to hold on to little things, like and once he gets it in his mind that he wants something, he will not share. And usually other parents are pretty, like, you know, want to just placate him and make it so he doesn't cry, whereas I'm still trying to teach him that he just doesn't get everything he wants all the time, because that's not helpful either. So so it is kind of hard, because you know, sometimes people just want to be like, oh, don't have him cry, don't have him cry. You know, and the tantrums are hard to go through, but he also needs to learn that, you know, especially as he gets older, that that's not how life works. You don't just get everything handed to you to make you happy in that moment. Yes, literally anything I say too, particularly with me, the defiance. Not right now, babe. We'll do it in a little bit, okay? Can make him upset, and other people too. You know, like, other people have tried to step in and like distract him or whatever, but he can still say no, you know, and do whatever it is that he wants to try to do. He's in pull-ups, and I do have to tell him to go potty all the time, and sometimes that can trigger him. He'll tell me no, he doesn't want to. So he will get very loud as he gets mad. Or he does you know, say some things I want, or, you know, and then he does do some sign language. So do you want to show your sign language?
Okay, good.
And sorry, and yes and no.
Oh, good.
Show the camera. Yes and no. Yeah, good boy.
Nice. Good. How do you say?
Yeah.
Boy.
Cookie. Cookie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So that's a big help in just communicating what it is that he wants sometimes. Just
you think his frustration level is better?
Yeah, because sometimes I just have to go through the list, like, well, you know, you're hungry, thirsty, do you need to go potty, you know, that kind of thing. He's rough and tough. He does require constant supervision, because like that, he does everything really fast, so you have to watch that he doesn't hurt himself, because he's not paying attention, he's not looking. So back to the toys. So he likes like superheroes, Batman, PJ Masks, he likes trains. So watching his show is something that I can use to try to get him to do what I want or not. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He still will sometimes, you know, not. But that he will sit still for. So I know, so when I try to get him to do Play-Doh or color or whatever, he doesn't want to sit still to do that, because it's not what he's interested in. But he can sit still. So it still is something that we have to work on, because I'm like, I know you can, because you can sit here and watch a 30-minute TV show. So we originally went to Krieger. And then through the school system, he was in K through 5, so they came to the house and did, occupational therapy and stuff with him and speech. And then he had an IEP in school, and he was doing the prep program. Obviously, right now, all of that's kind of up in the air. But right now, the psychiatrist comes to the house. She comes to us, and then I do on FaceTime the parents as teachers, the therapy where they're teaching me to talk to him, advocating for him and his services, because he is bigger and he doesn't look like there's anything wrong with him, so people just automatically, and because he is talking more, so people can semi-understand him, so they just, oh, he's fine. Oh no, he's not fine.
Right.
Actually, his daycare lady told me, she was the very first one. So first my mom told me about his speech. She was like, oh, he's not, where he should be. I was like, oh, okay. And then my daycare lady was like, there's some things he does that's different, you know what I mean? And so she was like, maybe you should get a developmental pediatrician, and then we went from there, and obviously he's been diagnosed with these different things. And when he's in a group of kids, you can tell that he does things like sometimes he'll go off to his own, and his repetitive things that he does. He just does some things over and over and over, and some things he will just say over and over, whether you acknowledge him, he'll just say it over and over and over again, like I said, just want to write him off, but you have to spend more than 30 minutes with him to understand or to see what the things that he does that are repetitive or just different than what other kids would do at his age.
Well, how
Exhausting, it's overwhelming, it's hard. The therapist asked me the other day, well, what do you do to take care of yourself? And I don't really do a whole lot. I work, I'm a single parent. So, sometimes I take a deep breath and I put myself in the opposite room, and he just feels a fit, and it just has to be that way no matter who it wakes up at the apartment. I just need space. I need to be away from him, and he needs to just go cry, because at a certain point it gets so escalated that nothing I do or say is going to make him stop, and until he decides he wants to stop. And so, in that moment, it's difficult. It's really, really hard, because it makes my anxiety go through the roof, and I'm just trying to cope with it the best that I can. He doesn't like when I close the door, but sometimes when I'm trying to get dressed, I'm like, yes, you need to just go in the other room and let mommy have 2 seconds to herself.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very, very hard.
What type of concerns do you have for his future?
I don't want him to be left out or pushed aside because people don't want to deal with his hyperness, so they want to say that he has a disability, because it is exhausting. It is a lot, and I know firsthand. But as a special needs, teacher and whatever, that is their job. So, I'm going to keep advocating until he gets what he needs, because so they are going to hold him back, because he doesn't turn 5 until after the cutoff for kindergarten, so I think they are going to make him stay in prep for longer. And then we also did try to sign him up for Head Start as well, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't want them to get rid of his IEP at all, so that's my concern right now, is that I will, have them do whatever testing they need to do or whatever, and my mom's also a teacher, and I will look into getting a special needs advocate if I need to, because they're not going to take away his IEP. He's not there yet. He needs speech, he needs occupational therapy. Just because he can count to 5 does not mean that he's met goals. It's not saying
Friends.
Sometimes my parents do help, and one of my friends, she's actually got twins, and then a little boy has offered to watch him, if I ever just need the couple minutes. Really important, just so that I can recharge and I can feel okay, so then I'm not so snippy with him or short, or because you have to think about, I have to think about the things that I'm saying to him. I have to get down on his level. I can't just say, no, you can't do that. I have to word it correctly so that he understands me. He also, with speech processing, he doesn't understand as quickly as I'm saying it. It takes him a couple minutes, so I have to make sure that I'm doing all the things so that he's understanding what I'm asking him to do. So I feel like just having a break just helps in general, just so that I feel like I can have 2 seconds without having to be so tense and like worried about what he's doing every second of the day. It can start with the tantrums, because I'll ask him to go potty. I'll ask him to sit and eat breakfast, and all he wants to do right away is watch a show. And sometimes I will just let him have the tablet, because in order to get myself ready for work and us out the door in 20 minutes or whatever, I need to not have tantrums. So I do try to watch his, how much TV he watches, because also, that's not good to watch TV 24/7. And it's hard, because then that's a crutch for, like, anytime he acts out, then he gets his show or whatever. So that's like a double-edged sword. But yeah, like the one morning I said I had to make him get dressed, and I carried him down the apartment stairs and put him in the car. I mean, and that can happen multiple times a week, just because I ask him to go pee in the morning. I'm like, you have to go to the potty, before you go to daycare. And it's the same routine every morning, so it's not like it's something new, but it just...
How does he deal with transitions, like going from the house to school to another activity?
It's really horrible. I mean, he needs time to process what it is I'm asking him to change to. So I do try to do time, in 10 minutes it's this, in 5 minutes it's this, and sometimes he does okay, and that helps, the time limits help, and sometimes it's just, even if it's something he wants to do, like even if I said, let's go outside and play, or let's, whatever, it still can cause friction, because it's just a change. Any change to his routine, and it's hard, because sometimes I have to go grocery shopping, or I have to do laundry, and just because we're not going directly home, I mean, it just can send him into a tailspin.
Do you have meltdowns?
Yes, sometimes.
Because of the situation?
I'll cry myself to sleep sometimes, because it's hard. And I feel bad too if I snap at him or lose my temper, and just because it's just constant. Like, like you overcome one meltdown, and I'm like, okay, everything's good, but then the next one will happen, and then so it's just like I feel like constantly like the weight of the world on me, because I'm like, there's never any ending to it. There's never any I can't ever breathe. And I, like I said, and so respite care would help with that too, and him interacting with other people other than just me, because his DAD is not in the picture. They do FaceTime sometimes, but it's not consistent. It's not regular. So just him interacting with other adults is, obviously with children is important, but other adults too, so that, he learns he needs to listen, when an adult says something, so